motherfuckers. Yippee! Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Thea Landen is a remarkable author and personality. And I met Thea on X. And you see a lot of characters on X, but it was her liner bio that caught my attention. She said she was a smutty book author. Now, for a woman to be a self-described smutty book author makes her very special. And I started to look at her books, and I started to watch her posts on X, and her posts on X are hysterical because it has a lot to do with her pain and suffering of going to the gym. And she expressed what everybody feels about going to the gym, which is that I don't want to go to the gym. Thea Landen is a prolific writer, and I wanted you to meet her because, and I know you will appreciate this, it's because so many of her books are focused on one subject, which is lesbians in space. Lesbians in space. About how many books, Thea Landen, do you think you've written that sort of touches upon lesbians in space?
Oh, my goodness. I know there's at least 2 that are definitely lesbians in space. There's also a fantasy novel, which is lesbian dragon hunters, which I don't know if that's as exciting as space, but some people prefer fantasy over sci-fi.
How do lesbians hunt dragons differently than straights?
Well, they fall in love while doing it and get into all sorts of interesting situations when the dragons aren't right there breathing fire down their necks.
You sell your books on Amazon primarily, right?
Yes, Amazon and then some from my own website.
And is there a sale going on right now that we need to know about?
Right this second, no, but towards the end of the month, there will be some anthologies on sale. Not lesbians in space, I'm sorry to disappoint, but more contemporary straight romance, because I have to show everyone some love.
The interesting thing about Thea Landen is she's a smutty book author. She writes erotica. But the reason she's special is she's not a stripper. She doesn't work in the industry. She's a suburban mom who has a suburban husband and a suburban father. And by all appearances, it is a exemplary life. And she's a good mom and she's a good wife. I can tell all that. But what makes her writing so intriguing is it's a big contrast to her day-to-day life. How long did it take you, Thea Landen, to admit to your parents that you were writing these kind of books?
Oh, my. Well, I told my mother fairly early on, I think after the first or second came out, and this was back in 2012, 2013, and we went out for dinner, and we had a few cocktails, and she got it out of me. Apparently, she never told my father about it before she passed away, and he only learned about it in, I think it was 2023, because the only reason I came clean with him and told him about what I do at night, not my day job, was because I was traveling down to Manhattan to see you. And I couldn't come up with a good cover story, so I just told him everything.
It's good that I can bring families together in this way. What was his reaction?
He said, okay, be careful in the city. Like any good father.
From a commerce point of view, which of your titles has sold the best?
Oh, my goodness. It's hard to tell because I just released 2 new books this spring, and the cover design on them is fantastic. They're grabbing attention right away. So one of my personality traits is I am very organized, type A personality. I have a spreadsheet for everything. So I have my best sellers from before this. Some of my recent books are already outperforming them because those covers are just grabbing people's attention and yanking them over to my table at events. So the latest one, where everyone loves the cover, I know it'll disappoint you. It's not lesbian dragons, but this one is straight heterosexual dragons. Flight of the Dragon Queen.
I'm going to find that cover. I'm going to post it on my Facebook because now I know that the Midnight Misfits would like to see that cover. And that's been selling really well, right?
Yes, and it's only been out for the paperback version maybe a month or so. I wanted it out when I was doing in-person events. And like I said, everyone is just running over to that one because it's got the seductive woman with her dress slipping off her shoulder, but she also has dragon wings.
A dress slipping off her shoulder combined with dragon wings sounds like a million seller to me. That's all you need. You could sell that poster separately and sell 1 million of those. Did you? I just thought of that. Did you think of that?
No, but now I have a new project on my to-do list.
You have a special project, or just buy the cover and then charge more for that than the book. That would be a good business. All right, now Thea Landen.
Plenty of options.
That's true. What was the initial inspiration to you, suburban housewife, and I say that with respect and fondness, a good mom? What inspired you to write this type of novel?
A few things were going on at the same time. Number one, like a lot of authors out there, I first got started writing fanfic. And because I'm kind of a nerd, it was fan fiction for video games. And what were the most popular ones? The smutty ones, of course. Number two was, and again, I've been doing this for a while, as I said, since about 2012. This was around the time where 50 Shades of Grey first exploded in popularity. Now, we can sit here all day and we can talk about the writing quality and whether it counts as important literature or whatever else some of the snobs want to talk about. But regardless of what you think of the story, what you think of the prose, that it grabbed the attention and affected so many people is something that can't be ignored. And all of a sudden, like, writing smutty books wasn't seen as this taboo thing that we're all sneaking, under the covers in our bedrooms with a flashlight. No, people were reading these books out in the open, and it really did change publishing. Now, just about anything goes.
How did it change publishing?
Again, we all know way back in the day, all our mothers and grandmothers were reading what they call the bodice rippers, where, Fabio's on the cover with his long flowing hair and the woman's long flowing hair. And while, I don't know, it's debatable whether you could call them explicit, some of the language was more flowery and not as direct. But now you pick up a romance book and you get what those characters are doing in their bedrooms or elsewhere in explicit detail. And again, this is now openly accepted where maybe it wasn't 10, 20, whatever years ago. And for someone who likes writing that sort of thing, it's a very exciting time.
What do you get the most feedback on? The most feedback is on straight stories, lesbian stories, gay stories. What gets you the most feedback when you do these in-person conventions and people come up to you one at a time and they kind of look you in the eye and blush a little and they say, I really like the scene when, what do you hear the most?
Two different things, and actually they're completely different. For the in-person events where people see the covers, and we always say, don't judge a book by its cover. No, people judge a book by its cover all the time. Looping back to the lesbian dragons, that has been getting people so excited. That one's with a publisher, so I don't have the rights, but I touched base with my contact there and was able to get some author discounted paperback copies to bring with me to these events. And some people just light up when they see this cover that has a dragon, a castle, and two women getting cozy. And some of them have even said to me, these are the kind of stories that I love to read, but it's so hard to find them with lesbians. So lesbian dragon hunters are making so many people happy, and that makes me so happy.
Well, there it is. You have fulfilled a void. There was a great need for lesbian dragon hunters that you identified and you filled it. My gosh, that's a classic entrepreneurial move. I congratulate you. Now, you said there was a different set of reactions in a different dynamic other than in person. What was that?
Yes, this is mostly online, all electronic communication. People aren't attaching names and faces to what they send me. A lot of middle-aged men exploring their sexuality in ways which, as I said, similar to publishing 10, 20 years ago, people really didn't talk about, introducing a third person in their relationship. Is that third person male or female? I'm trying to find a way to talk about this that is safe for radio. Can I say toys and people will know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
We're not going to get kicked off the air. Yeah, the introduction
we support
of
Toy
toys.
Story, no problem. Go ahead.
Different kinds of Toy Story. Let's not get sued. But yes, things like that. I have heard a lot of feedback about that when I write stories about those types of things. And again, that these people are happy and that the stories of mine they're reading sort of bolsters that, adds to their experiences, that makes me happy.
Thea Landen, tell us exactly how to find your book online.
Okay. The best way to get all of the information related to me, books, appearances, different formats, is my website, thealanden.com. And I can spell that because people get the vowels mixed up. It's TheaLanden.com. And that has everything about me and my books that you would ever want to know.
Lesbian in space book author Thea Landen. You'll be hearing much more from her on the other side of midnight.